I remember my first Twitter space.
All right, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Glad you figured it out. Thought you were a baby boomer there for a bit.
Okay, I'll see if he's in here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Look at these Tennessee boys navigating through these computers, huh? We've come a long way, ain't we?
Yeah, no doubt. So today I thought we'd talk bold takes. We don't got any games to really break down. We got Vanderbilt, Hawaii. Next Friday we can talk about that. But right now I want to hear some bold takes, Shane. So
Yeah.
what do you got for
Hot
me?
take. That's what I'm saying. Hot takes and cold beer, baby. I've got a few. I got a few in the hopper, but I'd like to get a couple listeners on too, and kind of get their input. Maybe some hot takes on their program, or maybe some hot takes on their rivalry. I want to start out though, Mike. We went to SEC Media Days, and you made a few bold predictions down there. I'm sure I see Ollie's on the list already, so I'm sure he wants to ask you a few Kentucky questions. But my hot take was clear. I like Texas A&M. I like them not only to win the West, but I am on record saying that they would win an SEC championship. But I want to double down with another hot take, Mike, and this is my final one for the night, is I think this is the year that we see 3 SEC teams in the college football playoffs.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and this is how I think Georgia's got a straight shot. I mean, it's theirs to lose. As long as they stay straight on the path, they should make it to the championship or the playoffs. But I think this is the year we see 2 West opponents, and it's going to come down between Alabama, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. I think 2 of those teams sneaks into the college football playoffs. That's my hot takes for the night.
All right, well, I got one for you, Shane. This is a fresh one. This is a new one because this is a new deal. I didn't want to rehash everything I've already said. That's already made me look like an idiot. So I'm going to go on a limb, something new. Man, all this buzz we're hearing about Arkansas and these receivers.
Yeah.
I'm already on cloud 9 with the Razorbacks, so I'm going to go a step further. I think KJ Jefferson is going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Ooh, golly, Mike, that is awfully bold, brother. So do you?
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like you're putting all your money on this thing. How high are you on that? Because that is a pretty bold take to have an Arkansas quarterback win the Heisman race in 2022.
Just like Billy Bob from Varsity Blues, Shane, 10. Keep in mind, these are hot takes. So I'm not guaranteeing it, but you just said it yourself. Arkansas, if everything breaks right, they could be contending for the college football playoff. It ain't going to happen, brother, unless KJ Jefferson takes his game to another level. We already saw how good he is on the field. He's got to take it to another level. And if these receivers, if this is not just smoke, if these receivers are as good as they're saying, to combine with the SEC's number 1 rushing attack that's bringing back 4 or 5 on the offensive line and the top 3 running backs, I mean, this is going to be one hell of a dangerous offense. So that's my bold take. We got a couple requests here. Let's go with.
Before we jump around, I just, again, this is something that we're going to be doing every Friday. Every Friday night, we're going to get together at the same time. Me and Mike are going to come out with our projections for the weekend, and locks of the weeks and that sort of stuff. And we're going to talk, kind of clean up a little bit because, as you guys know, we record our shows on Thursday night. And sometimes things happen on Friday. So we'd like to recap it and go over that with you if there's any housekeeping notes. But really, we just want to drink cold beer and hang out with you guys, answer any questions you have, or maybe get some suggestions on the show, that sort of thing, and just hang out with the family. That's what we're going to be doing every Friday, and we look forward to seeing all of you here.
And I'm going to try to repost it if you missed it. I'm going to try to push it out on YouTube and to the podcast. But I honestly, I don't know how to do it, so no guarantees. But I'm gonna try to figure it out. But let's go RG first. He's been waiting a little bit longer. I'm gonna try to get him in here. should be good. You're going to have to unmute yourself. Currently muted, RG.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you heard that.
Hey,
Hey, buddy.
there he is. He's been holding that beer for a while. Long-time listener. Good to have you on, brother.
Maybe just about 6 minutes. I came in right at 8 o'clock. But hey, I want to thank both of y'all for doing all the amazing work that you guys do. I love the SEC Media Day coverage. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Got to say, go Dogs, obviously. My bold take would have to be that it's Heisman for Stetson. He's going from the mailman to the Heisman. But no, honestly, I really do like the Arkansas hype a lot. I'm a huge fan of Sam Pittman. I think that if there's somebody to really sneak up in the West, I know cousin Shane's put his money on the Aggies, but I'm liking the Razorbacks. Honestly, I could see 3 years in a row here, Georgia and Arkansas showing up. But I gotta say I like cousin Shane's take on the three SEC teams going to the playoffs here.
Yeah.
That would be that'd be monumental.
Long as your Bulldogs are involved,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. That's the East is locked down. I'm sorry, Kentucky. I'm sorry, Tennessee. Y'all will get there one day. It's looking like it's on a fast track, but
we've talked to a lot of Georgia fans, as you know, a lot of media coverage down there at SEC Media Days, and a lot of them pretty excited about the product they're going to be putting on the field. But I want to ask you, as a loyal listener and an avid Bulldog fan, is there any team? Because I'm looking at your schedule, and I don't see a lot of resistance up ahead, and we've made these cute little stories, and I've seen a lot of bold predictions, on TV and stuff. But if you were worried about one team on your upcoming schedule, who would that be?
Worried
Vanderbilt.
Worried about the amount of fans that will show up for Vanderbilt, maybe, but no. If in all honesty, like I truly feel like the team that's going to give Georgia the hardest test probably will be Tennessee. I'm grateful.
Oh, he's sucking up to
no,
you,
no, no, no,
Shane.
no,
Yeah.
no. I've been saying this.
Keep going.
Look. I'm behind enemy lines here. I live in Knoxville area, so I've been hearing the hype, since Heupel came in and all that. But I really do see what's going on there, and the offense is going to be nasty for real. Like it's they're going to tear it up. But I have faith in the defense, and I have faith in what Todd Monken is going to do in year three, especially with Stetson Bennett showing back up, loaded tight ends, wide receivers that are there's going to have to be some breakouts. I mean, it's they call us RBU2 as well. So I mean, I'm not too worried, but if there's a team that I'm worried most about, it would be Tennessee. Number two, I would give it to Mississippi State. I think them Bulldogs. I like the quote trap games that Mississippi State could potentially pose for others, but Tennessee would be one, and Mississippi State number two.
All right, and your bold take was that Stetson's going to win the Heisman. What'd you call it? From the mailman to the Heisman.
Yes, I saw that earlier on Twitter. I need to find out what's the best place to whoever's got the highest odds for him to win it, because I got to put at least 20 on that, and see if he can help me make me a little bit richer.
Yeah, I've seen a few nicknames. I saw him. He got a new haircut. They called him
Stequavius Bennett. Yes.
The Stequavius Bennett.
Did you see that? Did you see that throwing arm he's got beefed up too?
Oh no. yeah. Let's don't crown him just yet. But RG, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you hanging out. Longtime listener. Mike, who got next?
Yeah, we got Ollie here. I appreciate you, RG. Let's get Ollie, see what he's got.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Cousin Ollie.
Hey, cousins in Tennessee. I'm doing great, man. How about you all?
Oh, good. I think it started out 4 listeners, and Ollie was one of them. I don't know how he stumbled across the podcast, but Ollie's been around since day one. Appreciate having you on. Are you standing outside Mike's window right now?
We're ready for this, guys. We're ready for.
Oh well, man. What's your hot take for 2022?
Man, I don't know if I got a specific hot take, bold take, or nothing like that. But I was listening to your all's podcast. You guys dropped today, and it got me thinking, man. All this college football expansion, all these leagues expanding their teams. What if the SEC dropped a team? And I think you guys know probably who I'm talking about. It's the team that keeps on receiving a check but not putting out any effort. I love
no indoor facility. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I love the town. I love the town, but man, they're just not keeping up, and they're not trying. It doesn't seem like they're trying.
Yeah,
right. I mean that's the biggest issue with Vanderbilt, and they make all these promises. I don't know if they've even broke ground on this $300 million that they've allocated to facilities that they promised. I think it was last spring. I don't know if they've even started that. So they need to get their shit together. I don't think there's any question, because pretty soon, I mean, you see what the Big Ten's doing. They're making big moves. I think, and I've said this before, but I think the biggest thing that the SEC's got to do is they have got to keep the Big Ten out of the South. And we just saw when they added Southern Cal and UCLA that the geography means nothing to the Big Ten. And if I was running the Big Ten, I don't know if these programs, what their value is, but I'd look at Florida State. I'd look at Miami. I'd look at North Carolina. I'd look at Clemson, or any school that breaks me into the South to get into those recruiting. That's why the SEC is as good as it is because of recruiting. And if the Big Ten finds a pipeline into it, I think that's the only way the SEC is going to have any kind of downfall.
We're looking at you, UAB. Y'all
ever played that? You guys ever played that NCAA Madden game? And the very first team the SEC would cut, who would it be, Shane?
Oh, it's always Vanderbilt, without a doubt.
Vanderbilt. Always.
Yeah, I got to bring my North Texas into Vanderbilt every single time.
No, my answer would be Kentucky. To hell with them people.
Oh my!
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's about all I got, guys.
I want to ask you one last question, Ollie, before you get off.
Yeah.
I saw some news pop today. Matt Jones was talking. Rodriguez probably going to be out for 3 or 4 games. How hard is that going to be going against Florida? You think that makes that game a little bit closer? Or do you think you still got this one in the bag up there?
Man, as much as Rodriguez was fumbling, and that's the part nobody wants to talk about, is how many fumbles that guy had. There's a running back right in that core that I love, that I think can step up and be a Benny Snell, and that's Lavelle Wright. That guy is solid, and he might not be on the high part of the totem pole, but that guy can run the rock and he can move the pile. And I just am not scared of Florida. I don't know how crazy that is to talk about as a Kentucky fan.
I love it.
After 30-some years losing to them in a row, and man, we're ready for them.
I see a few Gators on here, so I can hear them now.
They better.
You know what his comments remind me of, Shane, is when your school loses a recruit and you say, well, hell, we didn't want him. We didn't need him anyway.
Hey, this school is in the SEC East, and we want all the smoke of Florida. We want the national champions, Georgia. We want it all right here in this state.
All right.
All right, appreciate you, Ollie. Thanks for always supporting the show.
See ya. Bye.
Let's get Justin in here. I know he's been waiting the next longest, I think. Make sure you unmute your mic there, Justin.
Hey, I'm in.
Hey, what's up, Justin?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everything going tonight?
Going good, brother. Long time listener. Good to have you on.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to hear from you guys and be on here. Hey,
the man with the nice car.
Hey, it's not that great right now. I'm working on it. I'm doing some weight reduction on it as we speak.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, I can understand that.
What's your bold take for us, Justin?
My bold take is Mississippi State's going to go to a New Year's Six game.
Oh, Yeah, you tell he's been listening to the show. I've been getting everybody fired up for them Bulldogs,
Hey,
Mike.
I as much as I want to talk about my Hogs, I've said enough about them. We know what they're about. We know what they can do.
Yeah.
There's no false bravado with them. They are saying, this is
Right.
what we have. This is what we're going to do. This is our time.
I love it.
The only problem with that take is Shane is so damn high on Mississippi State. They're probably going to go 0-8 in conference play. I
know,
hate to break it to you.
But
I got so much money riding on them right now.
I do like Mississippi State, though. And really, it's because of the experience. I'm going with every team that has experience right now. That's bringing experience back. That's bringing an experienced quarterback back.
Right.
You can't tell me that in this league, experienced quarterback does not matter.
No, that's why Ole Miss was so good last year. They had both
Matt
of those,
Corral.
experience and experienced quarterback, and that's why they won at Tennessee. That's why they won some big games there. And then when he went down, they couldn't finish the deal in the Sugar Bowl. So I think you might be onto something there.
And that's how I feel about them. We have Hendon Hooker. Their defense has to step up, but that Tennessee team, their offense is going to be good because Hendon Hooker has been there. He's done that.
Yeah.
Will Levis has been there. He's done that. Will Rogers been there and done that. KJ Jefferson been there, done that. Bryce Young, hey, my man, been there, done that. Stetson Bennett's going to step up this year. He is going to have a good year, and he's going to have a good year because he knows that he has to have a good year.
Yep.
These quarterbacks know that they have to step up this year to succeed.
Yep.
And all the camp reports are here out of Athens. I think Stetson Bennett, he could be the one that makes me look like the biggest dumbass for discounting them. Because Georgia could have a nasty offense this year.
Yeah, they could. Hey, Justin, before you head out, I want to ask you, as an Arkansas fan, because we had a rivalry show just a couple of days ago. Who's your biggest rivalry? As a Razorback fan, which fan base is the one that you despise the most?
I have two. Now the second one isn't the second one isn't really a despising of them. More of a I love them because it's such a good rivalry that I hate them.
Yeah.
But the first one, I live in South Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I live about 30 miles from the border of Louisiana and Arkansas. So for me, it's LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand those LSU. I just cannot stand them. And anybody who says that's not a rivalry, that's a big ass boot that's 24 karat gold. That's something that people run out there and get that is not lightweight.
That's right. It's the biggest trophy since the barrel, right?
Now my second one, and it's because every year it's something about them. It just, our games are so great. And I know you know who I'm talking about. It's Ole Miss.
I told you, Shane.
I know. I've
and
tried to
right
bring
now,
Missouri along, but I just
no, it's the Rebels.
Okay.
And right now, I love it so much because you got to look, Lane Kiffin, Sam Pittman, going into their third year. Both of them are 1-1. Neither one have lost at home. So it's Arkansas's year to hold it down at home.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my two.
All right, Justin, I appreciate you, man. We got to get to someone else. Let's
appreciate it, brother.
Here.
Hey, no problem. Have a great one.
You too, brother. Let's see. All right, Drew, we got you on here. You got to unmute.
Hey, what's up, guys? Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. Sitting out here, drinking some beer, talking some football. Can't beat it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm an Arkansas fan. It's funny that the other guy, I'm from South Arkansas as well, so there's a big LSU hate down here. A lot of house divided families, I guess. So LSU would definitely be one of my. Yep. But I guess if I was going to say a hot take,
bring on somebody here, Mike.
If I was going to say a hot take,
here in a minute.
It would have to be Arkansas beating Bama if they can go 4-0. If they can go 4-0, be top 10, more than likely, College game day will be in Fayetteville.
Do you think the Rodriguez is a big deal for Florida?
Are you drunk? How drunk are you, Shane? You're cutting people off here.
No, I'm trying to. Is he talking? I didn't hear nobody.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Drew.
Okay.
Well,
Can hear you
having
now.
a private
I couldn't hear you.
I didn't hear it. My bad.
No, okay. I was just gonna say my hot take was if Arkansas can go 4-0, be a top 10 team against Bama, Arkansas is going to take down Bama. And this will be the first time they beat Bama since Saban's been a coach there. They had them on the ropes at Bama last year. It'll be in Fayetteville. College game day, good chance they'll be there. If they're 4-0, I see Arkansas taking them down.
How big of a game is that Cincinnati, though? Because it seems like some Arkansas fans, they look at that and they're like, well, my God. It's like, I don't know if it's Sam Pittman, his backup accounts or something, but they're like, my God, we can't overlook Cincinnati. I think they're going to beat the shit out of Cincinnati.
Yeah. I mean, it's Arkansas, so we've had some dark years using the ULM. So I'm always on the edge of my seat, even if we're playing a Sunbelt team, going through the Chad Morris years. So I'm not over it. I'm not saying, hey, Arkansas, we've arrived necessarily. I mean, I believe they have the pieces to make a run and to contend for a title, but I'm not overlooking anybody. I'm still on the edge of my seat, even if we're playing Arkansas State or whoever,
I got you.
Just went through too many dark years with them.
I saw a graphic come out this week, and it was talking. It had it's a very small list of all the teams that has beat Nick Saban, and it had like LSU 4 times. I think Auburn was leading the pack with the most wins. But it's crazy. You don't see teams like Tennessee on there, but you see teams like Louisiana Monroe. It's like it is a tough ask. And what your bold take is, if they start out undefeated going into that Alabama game, that Sam Pittman and the boys are going to get a victory against Nick Saban and company. That's your hot take.
Absolutely. There's no way they're going to lose. They're not losing that game if they go 4-0.
I love it. Crown them, Mike. Crown them, baby.
I appreciate you, Drew. Let's get Brian in here. Another ball for Shane.
Come on.
See if we can get Brian in here. I just added. You got to unmute.
Hey, you got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. What's up, guys? Everybody doing good?
Hopefully Shane doesn't interrupt you in the middle of your question.
Come on, man.
Dude, I didn't hear. Did you guys hear? I didn't hear.
Very unco-host of you.
I can
hear
you, dude.
Yeah, thank you, John.
All right. I hope I'm wrong, but it's about the Florida Gators. I think they are starting the season 1-3, but hold on, at the end of the year they'll be 8-4.
Oh,
so I'm thinking I don't know how, but I think they're winning 2 or 3 between LSU, Georgia, and A&M.
So that's what I was about to say. So that means they're winning at A&M or they're beating Georgia.
Yeah, A&M, Georgia, LSU. I think they'll get 2 of those 3. I don't know which ones. Don't ask me, but
wait. So Brian, you're a Tennessee guy, right?
I am, yes, sir.
So you're chalking it. Hey, I've been there too, but at this point, I'm not there anymore. Why are we always chalking up Florida as an automatic W for Tennessee? For the life of me, I can't do it.
I don't know. Just because I drink too much, probably. But
they could have freaking Treon Harris.
I'm telling you,
they
did
Stadium.
Have Treon Harris.
They win the damn game. You know.
Well, I think the Pearsall kid, the wide receiver from Arizona State. I'm sure I bet his first game back will be against Tennessee. He'll go for 200 yards and 30 goddamn touchdowns. And,
but Anthony Richardson kicks off his Heisman race when they go to Neyland. So.
So that's how it usually works. So,
what's Tennessee's record going to be, Brian?
I'm going to say I think 8 wins is happy. I mean, I'm happy with 8 wins. Anything more is just kind of icing on the cake. I don't know. I can't.
That's a little less than Shane's 15.
Yes, I know,
and
I'm all for 15, but I don't know. I'm still.
Hey, can I ask you? I want to ask you a question. As another Tennessee homer,
Yeah.
We were talking rivalries earlier this week,
Yeah.
and I kept wanting to say Florida was our rivalry, but this Kentucky thing has been heated, and it's been back and forth. It's every sport. Who's your rival? Who do you think would be our number one?
Three? I mean, obviously, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, but me, I was at UT and actually was a student strength coach from the 04 season.
Oh, okay.
But
that's where we met.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just kidding.
We're
I
very.
thought you sounded familiar.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
I was on the rowing team.
I still got your hat. I still got your hat back in my place. So. But for me, it's Alabama is always going to be first, Florida, and then Georgia. So.
Oh, okay. Not even Kentucky.
And Alabama could beat us 100 years in a row. I'll still hate them every time. So. The most.
All right, I love it. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, Brian.
Go Vols. We'll see you.
Go Vols.
So we're 28 minutes in. We haven't even heard from Jonathan. I appreciate all his contributions to doing what he can here.
I'm just here for the party. You guys are crushing it. I think my hot take.
He just woke up in Hawaii over there.
I know, right? It's still pretty early here.
Wait a second. Before you share your bold take, please let it be known, anybody listening, this man does not work for us. We do not condone anything he says, and we cannot be held responsible for what he's about to say. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I would just go with first person fired in SEC is going to be Mitch Barnhart.
Ooh.
Okay.
The old Kentucky AD, you're ready to fire his ass?
Well, I think it's just a hot mess down ready, there. Right? The NIL's getting messy and muddy.
Don't share what I shared with you guys earlier. That's confidential. But I see what you're saying. He is integral from what I understand. Let's just leave it at that. Chris Rodriguez suspension. For those that have not heard, he's going to be suspended, according to Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio, 4 games. And he's going to miss the Florida game, which is, I knew this was coming. That's a big reason why I've got Kentucky 5th in the East. Unlike Cousin Ollie, I respect his opinion, but I think that's a huge loss, particularly in, what could be their game of the year there in Gainesville. I think they're going to need him in that game, and I knew they weren't going to have him. So, I mean that's an interesting take because I believe Mitch Barnhart is the longest tenured AD in the SEC right now, but at the same time, he has struggled to kind of keep up. You see the infighting with Calipari and Stoops. I mean, that's. Say what you want about all that, but that's under him. I mean, he could easily shut that shit down. He's not doing it. Kentucky is behind in the NIL, like Shane said. So, he needs to get with the damn times. And here's the biggest thing that I've got against Mitch right now. And I don't know how many of you guys keep up with Kentucky, but they allow alcohol to be sold to the premium seats up there in the boxes, but they won't let the common fan buy a damn beer in the stadium when we know about 70%, I'm being generous, of the fan base is drinking outside and they're sneaking it in. And hey, I got nothing against it. That's what you got to do because they won't let you drink in the stadium. So that guy needs to get with it. You know what?
Yeah, that's not. There shouldn't be a separation. I mean, come on, man. 2022, everybody should be able to drink.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares if Lane Kiffin's getting pelted with beer bottles and golf? he brought that on himself. You know what?
Yeah. No, this is. But it's Mike. It's an advantage. I know it may not sound like it, but it's one thing that everybody else has, but you don't. And that's not what you want. I mean, that's one thing we talked about Vanderbilt with having to cancel practice because they didn't have an indoor facility. That's a disadvantage, Mike. So if everybody else is doing it, everybody else is getting paid the same in the conference. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to implement the same rules. And if you find somebody else doing something different or benefiting the fans, then I think you should take a long, hard look at your program and equalize it. Because if you don't, people are going to exploit it. And maybe not the alcohol, but, there's folks there. I mean, it's it's for the fan. It is for the fan. Like, who fills up most of the stadium? It's not in the heights, in the press boxes. It's not the hoity-toities. You know what I'm saying? It's the common working man that's off on Saturdays and Sundays and wants to take his family to the football game. And if he wants to have a cold beer, or she wants to have a cold beer, let him.
Yeah, and I reamed him out while I'm sitting here drinking a beer. I got one in my hand, so that may be part of it. But
yeah, we're a little sauced up, Mike. All right. Who we got on next? We got anybody else?
Right now we're waiting for people to ask questions.
Okay.
But
South Carolina at?
Let's address some of the questions, some of the bold takes. Which one do you think is most realistic? Let's see. What have we had? Arkansas beat Alabama. That's pretty damn bold, but I could see it. I think Ollie. What did he say? Kentucky's going to go 0-8 in the SEC. I could see it.
No, I think he said Florida. I mean, that's not a problem. He thinks that's a game that they're overlooking, but not Kentucky fans. Stetson winning the Heisman was listed. So there was some pretty hot takes there, Mike, and now all of them I like the Stetson idea, because if Georgia does run the table and goes undefeated, beats Alabama in the SEC or Texas A&M in the SEC champion, or whoever shows up from the West, and then goes on to win. And I mean, this is a perfect resume. And we've both been on record saying that this offense is going to be a lot more explosive than it was last year.
Right.
That's going to have to be on the arm of our man, the Heisman, whatever they call him now, mailman. So I could be influenced with that one.
Well, we got Pretty in here now. He's got to unmute himself though.
Hello?
Is that Jonathan's ghost account?
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on? I just let everybody know that there's no reason to even talk about the SEC when you have a man by the name of Nick Saban as the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. At the end of the day, man, it's roll tide till I die. Because listen here, let me tell you something. There's no team in the SEC that comes close to the man upstairs is named Nick Saban, okay? And if y'all think anybody come close to the team up in Tuscaloosa named the Alabama Crimson Tide, y'all are all delusional. And I just want to say that the best quarterback to ever walk through Alabama is a backup right now by the name of Jalen Miro. All right? Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right. Well, I love it, man. I love the passion too, because that's the thing. I think Alabama is on a revenge tour, but it feels like, I mean, if they don't come out and blow out teams by 30 points, it feels like it's going to be a bad day down in Tuscaloosa. But I think, I don't know, Nick Saban against the ropes, coming off a disappointing season. You hear Bryce coming out, and he's not even worried about the Heisman. Right after winning the Heisman, doesn't care. His only complaint was they didn't win the games that they were supposed to. So, are we sleeping on Alabama, Mike? I know that sounds crazy, but is this
preseason
going to be the
okay, Nick Saban? It's a rebuilding year. They're preseason number 1. Come on, enough with that. They're supposed to beat the shit out of everybody. They do it 9 times out of 10. No, we're not sleeping on number 1. That's crazy.
Okay, we're just not talking about them enough.
We got RG back. He wants to ask another one.
Well, I want to ask y'all so who is the first SEC team that's going to be upset? What's your bold take on that first team that's going to be upset by whatever team, non-conference, regular?
I mean, knowing Tennessee, it'll probably be week 2 against Pitt, which for the life of me, I cannot understand why everybody's overlooking that football game.
Yeah.
Not that I think Pitt's some juggernaut, but hell, everyone was chalking that up as a win in Neyland last season, and it didn't happen either.
Yeah, I don't know how much of an upset it'd be, but Hawaii beating Vanderbilt game 1, first game of the season, could be an upset that we see. People have talked. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say this is the worst Hawaii team to ever be fielded, and if Clark Lee can't if he can't beat them, then I consider that an upset. The other games I got my eyes on is obviously the LSU Florida State game right out of the gate. That's one. How ready is Coach Kelly and company? I think that's the only ones. Maybe the Cincinnati Arkansas game, the Pitt Tennessee. Those are a couple I think booby traps, and if you don't come in prepared, you may leave with a loss.
What about the Memphis Mississippi State game?
No, that's going to be
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Mississippi State's going to kill them, man, and they're not going to. This ain't going to come down to a punt or a ref. I'll tell you that right now.
We got another Kentucky man here, Shane. BBN.
So, say if you're a Georgia Bulldog, a Tennessee Vol, or a Kentucky Wildcat, who would you hope to see representing the West in the championship? Who's the team you want to run into?
That's a good one.
But Alabama.
Who do I want to see out of the West? I mean, Auburn.
Well, realistically,
Yeah.
We'll say out of Texas A&M, Alabama, and I guess you could throw Arkansas in there for a dream.
You know what? Oh man, that's tough, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying who would you rather see out of the toughest gauntlet in the country? I mean, whoever it is probably going to be number 1 or number 2 in the country. So I don't know that there is a good choice.
What I like about all three of those teams is how balanced they are. It's not a one-trick pony. And
right.
I guess right now the only one that I would probably put an asterisk by would be Texas A&M. Even though I'm high on them, it's just because of the quarterback situation. We don't know how that plays out. There's a few question marks with those Aggies. I'm high on them. I think they're going to have a great. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but until you see it, it's tough for me to. I guess that's the one I'm leaning toward, just because I don't know exactly what it's going to look like.
I would say Arkansas or A&M, just for the simple fact. And again, if they're in the SEC championship game, they're probably 1 or 2 in the country. It's not an ideal matchup, but at least those two, it's going to be a new experience. And maybe they get caught up in the hype. Maybe, hell, you can't overlook anyone in the SEC championship game. But for Alabama, it's business as usual. I don't even think they celebrate SEC championships down there in Tuscaloosa. You know what I mean? They're looking at that national championship. So
that's a tune-up game.
Right, exactly.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming back on. That's BBN, right?
Yes, sir.
BBN football.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I really like all the contributions from Jonathan. Let's see. He is really shining tonight.
So, John, let me ask you.
What's up?
That Hawaii game, that Vanderbilt Hawaii game, I think it airs at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Is that what it is? It's really late.
No, it's 10:30.
10:30. So what time would that be over there? What time would that be in Hawaii time?
It's 4:30 in Hawaii time.
4:30. And is that on your island? Because I know they've got a couple over there.
No, it's
Can you drive to this game?
I can't drive to it because my car don't float. But no, what I'm doing is I'm taking a flight over from Big Island to Oahu, and I land, and I'm going to get an Uber to the stadium, which they don't even have their own stadium, but they did just get a huge budget to build a stadium for the University of Hawaii. First-year coach. It would be really embarrassing if Vanderbilt lost to that game.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan. So we've been talking behind the scenes. Let the listeners in. I don't know if we're allowed to officially announce any of the sponsorships we have just yet, but we've got about 4 lined up, 4 or 5. How many, promo codes, stickers, hats, shirts, all that shit, how much of that are you willing to wear? Because I feel like you're going to be one of the few peoples in the stands. They're going to be on you nonstop.
I'm going to be one of 6 people there, and I'll be wearing a Tennessee shirt, so I'll stand out. Yeah, I'll be wearing all of the gear.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen Jonathan. We called him John Sothian growing up. If you've ever watched the movie Twins, I like to refer to myself as the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the couple, and he's more of a Danny DeVito. But unfortunately, he is skinny. I told him he needs to plump up if he's gonna promote anything out there in the stands. So
I have more surface area.
Yeah, I hope you're eating plenty of pork or whatever they're doing these days. Those luau's, you should be hitting them all, brother.
I should. I was at SEC Media Days, but you guys left me in the hotel room.
Yeah.
You did a hell of a job up there, brother.
I was confined to the small spaces. But going back to Alabama, I mean, if they play football like they showed up to the SEC media days, we're all in trouble. It's going to be the roll tide all year long. Those guys are serious and hungry.
Is that the first time you've ever said that?
You know who I thought was the angriest of the group was Auburn. I don't know, just from the SEC media days, those boys came in with a mission and a statement, and I don't know exactly how it plays out on the field, but I don't know. That is a galvanized locker room, and sometimes that's dangerous, especially if they're really coming out as a team, us against the world mentality, and everybody has counted them out. Mike, do you see Auburn finishing anywhere but last place in the West? Do you see them surprising a few programs this year? Hell, they went toe-to-toe with the great Nick Saban last year. Do you see anything like that this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a realistic shot, Shane, that Auburn shocks the world and finishes 6th in the SEC West.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think does that keep his job? Does that keep Brian around for another year?
I don't think so. I think he's either it's bust this year. If he doesn't succeed, he's out. This is his last shot.
You just cannot build a winning program. It doesn't matter where it's at, but throw it in the SEC when people are pulling in opposite directions. Everybody's got to be pulling in the same damn direction, from the boosters to the administration to the leadership. They're going to get rid of his AD, and he's going to be fired unless he has, a 9-win season.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right,
have you seen the assistant? I mean, might have been worth getting fired for.
All right, I'm going to have to mute his mic there. But, hey, Shane's telling me to wrap this one up. So, hey, I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Next time, we're planning on doing this again every Friday, like I said. But anyway, we're cutting this short. So, hey, I appreciate everybody showing up. And, again, we'll post this online if I can figure out how the hell to do it.